evening, Daytona Beach, and welcome to the Tuesday, March 5th, 2024 City Commission meeting. At this time, we would ask Ms. LaMagna for a roll call.
Commissioner May. Here. Commissioner Cantu. Here. Commissioner Henry. Here. Commissioner Reed. Here. Commissioner Paris.
Here.
Commissioner Strickland.
Here.
Mayor Derek L. Henry.
Here. At this time, we will have the Pledge of Allegiance led by, I'm not sure, I don't see it. Who did the pledge last time?
Usually it's Commissioner May.
So it's May.
For the
Commissioner
pledge.
May for the pledge, and we will have the invocation led by Commissioner Strickland. Jokes.
Heavenly Father, we just thank you for this day. We thank you for the city. All you have given us and the opportunities we have to create a future. I also thank you for everyone who's been present tonight, all those that are listening.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We'll now move on to item number 4, which is approval of the minutes of the February 7th, 2024 City Commission meeting.
So moved.
We have a motion, Commissioner Paris, second, Commissioner Reed. Any questions or comments? All those in favor, let it be noted by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries 7-0. This time we will have our agenda review. If there are any changes, City Manager will address them.
Yes, Honorable Mayor, Commissioners, agenda changes, item 8E, City Manager's Office Coronavirus Local Fiscal Recovery Fund distribution. Add $1,000 to the National Hookup of Black Women from Mayor Derek L. Henry. Add item 8J, City Manager's Office First Step Shelter Board of Directors appointment. That concludes the changes for the agenda.
I move we accept the agenda with the said changes.
We have a motion, we have a second. All those in favor, let it be noted by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries 7-0.
Okay, moving on. Tonight we have no presentations. Moving on to item number 7, it's the citizen comments. During this time, citizens have the opportunity to address the City Commission on any item on the consent agenda. And our only speaker is Evelyn Rodriguez.
Good evening, my name is Evelyn Rodriguez. I live in the city of Daytona. Once again, I come before you to air my concerns about the monies that are given to Mainland High School. As I said the last time, I was a single mom. My kids played in the basketball, and I never depended on any donations. I did a little bit of research, and so far we've given Mainland in the last 12 months a total of $23,000. 11,000 with this today, it'll be 11,800 for the basketball, boys basketball, 3,500 for girls basketball, 7,200 for the athletic department. I don't know which ball that is, and cheerleaders 400. We've also given to Campbell Middle School 7,700, the elementary schools, and all total to all these schools 43,000. Now, what happened to the families doing fundraisers? Mainland used to have car washes. I haven't seen that in a long time. Also, besides that, we have all these outsourced, outside of school events that we've given a total of 23,000, and it's a Baldy organization, the VOLUSIA Tigers, Boys and Girls Clubs, Park Warner, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Then we gave Bethune-Cookman some money, and fraternities all for 4,100. We have miscellaneous tonight, together with this new national hookup donation, will be $3,600. And I have a long list of miscellaneous places that we've given, organizations we've given to. One issue I have, I think that some of these that get a lot of money should come and give a little talk, because as far as the commission agenda and the backup, it never describes very much what exactly they're using the money for. In all these that I've looked up, there's one missing. There's nothing pretty much for the elderly. I know the city has oases that meet one day a week. The Counseling on Aging also uses the Dickerson Center activity room, and they meet every single day during the week. I've been going on and off, and they have a lot of activities there. And the only one that I saw was back in October.
Thank you, ma'am. Your time has expired.
I just want to say, Mr. Mayor, how proud I am to be supporting the children after coronavirus and all that they went through in the past couple years, being out of school.
You can have a seat, Ms. Rodriguez.
Being out of school, not being able to even play sports, being at home, and being able to do this for them and to see them to bounce back the way that they have bounced back. School scores starting to come back, so supporting the schools academically, supporting them athletically has been just the joy of my life as far as being a commissioner in Zone 5. Lots of those children come right out of Zone 5, and I'm gonna support them. I'm always gonna support them. So I just wanted to say that.
I have no more speakers for the
I'd
consent
like to
agenda.
interject as well. The comment in regards that we only support one senior oasis, we actually have 5 senior oasis. It represents our 5 different centers. So all over our city, we have an opportunity. It's on. You can't hear me? Could you turn it up so I don't have to lean into it, please? Thank you. We support 5 senior oasis programs at all of our centers. Our seniors are there every day of the week at a different center. And we are very proud of them, and we've done more than I can imagine being able to do with the funds that we have. Now, we won't always have these funds. You won't always see those numbers. So the fact that we can do something for our citizenry, we're very elated and proud to be able to do that. Thank you for bringing that to our attention.
Yeah, likewise, I think I'll weigh in on that also. I appreciate you continuing to bring that to the attention of us and the public. I haven't made one disbursement from the COVID funds that I'm not happy to make on behalf of the citizens. I know what best practices are as it relates to the expenditure of these funds. They were given to us by the federal government, to cities. The sum total of $65 billion went all across this country. Mayors rallied to support that, and there's a long list of things that are used, and one of the best practices is typically to use the funds for nonprofits that are reputable and doing work that the city commission cannot do. So there are only so many things that we can do as a city. So what you do is you support those that are doing the work that we're neither trained to do nor should we be doing, as we continue to try to recalibrate and revive ourselves from the experience of COVID. That's what the funds are for. And proud of the decisions that we've made as a commission, proud of the $1 million of those funds that we gave the residents in this community for roof repairs. There's just so many, and the list goes on and on, but we did not always have the folks to come in, but most of the ones that we've made distributions to, I've gone out and visited with them, oftentimes made the presentations to the programs in person, because I value what they're doing. And so we appreciate your concern and your expressions, but I think we're on the right track.
And Mr. Mayor, let me also interject about the water bills that was across the board for the entire city.
$4 million. Yeah, and just, okay. And many cities use those funds in a different way. They use them oftentimes to fill voids and holes in different departments. And we use some of them for certain things. We purchased a boat, I think, for the fire department it was. So there were things that we did, you know, to buttress other departments. I've offered 50,000 or 100,000 of it to incentivize police officers early on. There's just a lot of different things that you do, but you will never, ever get me to apologize for giving those funds to the children of this community who are the most marginalized in all of Volusia County. Never. Okay.
You know, there was quite a bit of money. I know I gave quite a sum of money toward lights and cameras for Seabreeze, for Main Street, and it was 80 for each street and 40,000 for MMB for lights and camera improvements in those areas to help with crime, as well as fix some parks. I also donated money to the Senior Oasis program, not just the one in my neighborhood, in my zone, but all across the board a couple of times. So I think we've done a good job of equally distributing the money at this time. We haven't frivolously just thrown it away. We've looked at what we need and tried to be very prudent with it. So I'm not ashamed of what we've done with that money. I think as a government body here, we've done a good job with it.
And since we're talking, like, I'm glad she brought that up, talking about all the wonderful things that we've done in the community with the money and talking about seniors. We did a camera program, a Ring camera program for the seniors in our community, which helps our police department, helps fight crime, and helps our elderly feel more safe in their homes and in their communities by giving each one of them that wanted a Ring camera to use. And then we expanded that program, not just for the elderly, but to anyone in the city who wanted a Ring camera. So we're doing real good work.
Yeah, good work. Okay. Any others? Okay.
I have no more speakers for the consent agenda.
All right, do we have a motion to approve the consent agenda? Take a motion from Commissioner Reed. I'll take the second from Commissioner Strickland. All right, motion and a second. All those in favor, let it be noted by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries 7-0.
Okay. Moving on, the items on item number 9 won't be heard this evening. They will be heard at the March 20th, 2024 City Commission meeting. So I'm going to move on to item number 10, which is our introduction of ordinances. Item number 10A is the Finance Department issuance of Capital Improvement Revenue Bond Series 2024A and Series 2024B. This is an introduction of an ordinance on first reading. An ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Daytona Beach, Florida, authorizing the borrowing of money and the issuance of debt in an amount not to exceed $53 million for the purpose of financing certain capital improvements related to the Jackie Robinson Ballpark Stadium and Fire Station Number 1, acquiring certain new equipment including a fire engine apparatus and an aerial truck, appointing Jeffries LLC as senior manager, Truist Securities and Raymond James and Associates, Inc. as co-managers for the bonds, and providing an effective date. And are there any questions or comments from the commission on this item? Okay, the public hearing and final action will be on March 20th. Item number 10B is the Growth Management Planning Department, 600 North Clyde Morris, Business Professional Rezoning. This is an introduction of an ordinance on first reading. An ordinance amending the zoning map of the Land Development Code to rezone 0.39 plus or minus acres of property generally located at the southwest corner of the intersection of Clyde Morris Boulevard and Florida Street from residential professional RP to business professional BP, repealing all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith and providing an effective date. And are there any questions or comments from the commission on this item? Okay, the public hearing and final action will be March 20th. Moving on to item 10C, it's the Growth Management and Planning Department, Bayshore Tourist Accommodations and Tourist Office Retail. This is an introduction of an ordinance on first reading. An ordinance amending the zoning map of the Land Development Code to rezone 7.8 plus or minus acres of property generally located east of Atlantic Avenue and approximately 750 feet north of Silver Beach Avenue from PDRD, Planned Development Redevelopment, to T1, Tourist Accommodations, and to rezone 4 parcels totaling 1.1 plus or minus acres of land generally located on the west side of the Atlantic Avenue between Ribble Avenue and Lenox Avenue from PDRD to T4, which is Tourist Office Retail, repealing all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith and providing an effective date. And are there any questions or comments from the commission on this item? Okay.
Is there a representative here?
Yes. Yes.
Hi, how are you?
Good, good, good.
And if we just state your name
Yeah,
for the,
Joey Posey, 420 South Nova, attorney for the landowner and the developer, but.
I was just curious if there's anything in, anybody that's interested in the property now.
Interest, but, nothing moving forward yet. It's all just cursory looks and things that people have grand plans in the sky, but, but we'd love to see somebody. So if there's any, activity or interest that comes your guys' way, we want to make good use of the property. So that's partly why we're doing this, to set the stage for entitlements, get somebody excited, let's get something there. And that's really why we're trying to move forward with restoring the original base zoning to the property.
I'm excited too. Hopefully they come quickly.
are there any other questions or comments?
Nope.
The public hearing and final action is March 20th. Moving on to item 10D, it's a growth management planning, West Mason Commercial Park Plan Development General. This is an introduction of an ordinance on first reading. An ordinance amending the zoning map of the Land Development Code to rezone 3.9 plus or minus acres of developed property generally located on the north side of Mason Avenue, approximately 1,500 feet west of the intersection of Clyde Morris Boulevard, State Road 483, and Mason Avenue, County Road 430, at 1640 Mason Avenue, from M3 General Industrial to PDG Plan Development General, approving the West Mason Commercial Park Plan District Agreement to allow for expansion of the existing development, allow additional permitted uses, and upgrade existing non-conforming site features within the property, subject to certain conditions, authorizing the mayor and the city clerk to execute the agreement, repealing all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith, and providing an effective date. And are there any questions or comments from the commission on this item? The public hearing and final action is on March 20th. Moving on to item 10E, it's a Growth Management Planning Department 7th Amendment to the Daytona Beach Kennel Club PD. This is an introduction of an ordinance on first reading. An ordinance approving the 7th Amendment to the Daytona Beach Kennel Club Planned Commercial Development Agreement to add outdoor event center as a permitted use on the property and to provide development standards and other provisions to govern this use, authorizing the mayor and the city clerk to execute the 7th Amendment, repealing all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith, and providing an effective date. And are there any questions or comments from the commission on this item? Okay, the public hearing and final action is March 20th. And I don't have any administrative items on the agenda tonight, so we just move on to comments and inquiries from the city commission.
Whoa, okay. I've got to go and get something. I left in the office because y'all gonna be here a while.
What is
Who you
it?
want to start it?
Yeah, you guys can start. Who's first?
Commissioner May.
Commissioner May?
Okay.
K2, no comment?
Commissioner Henry.
No comment.
Commissioner Reed.
Let's go, Maylin. Well, I would like to announce that the Divine Nine National Panhellenic Council is having a dance to sponsor scholarships to the young people in our community to go to our summer camp. The summer camps are $30 a week for 9 weeks, which equates to $270. And some families have more than one child that are going to these camps, and it becomes rather expensive. So this group is having a fundraiser to support sending children to our summer camp over the summer. And that will be on the 23rd of March, and it'll be at the Cherry Center. There will be games played and what have you, just a good old time. So if you'd like to come, let me know. I got
21
tickets.
and up.
21 and up. That concludes my comments.
I just wanted to congratulate our team on the business symposium that they had at the YSG. Very good job, guys. It was very well received, and great job. Do more things like that. We love it. I also went to the Fresh Book event, which was awesome too. The kids from Palm Terrace, they did a great job. I love seeing them. Then also, I went to Tallahassee for VOLUSIA Days. The Daytona Chamber had an entire program that they did for 2 days, and they had a great lineup. We met with the Secretary of the DEP, FDOT, DeBeeper. We also met with Representative Leak, Senator Wright, their legislative aides, so it was really nice to be in Tallahassee. Then the other thing I wanted to mention is that there's going to be a job fair. The Southeast VOLUSIA Manufacturing and Technology Coalition, they partner with CareerSource, and the job fair is going to be on Wednesday, April 10th from 3 to 7 at the Brannan Center in New Smyrna. Also, there is an open house that Florida Fame is having. Florida Fame is a organization that, it's a 2-year apprenticeship program that they run out of Daytona State College. So that's going to be taking place, let's see, sorry, just one moment. March 6th from 5 to 7 p.m. at the Daytona State College Advanced Technology Center campus. And also the other thing is Women's Net. They have grant opportunities for women-owned businesses and food and beverage businesses. So you could go to womensnet.org to find out more information. If anyone else needs information, please feel free to contact me. And that's it. And oh, happy Bike Week, everyone. Just be really safe out there. Thank you.
I had a bunch of stuff to talk about, but not tonight. Just want everybody to be safe out there. Look twice, don't run over anybody on a motorcycle, and have a great rest of the week.
You're up. Everybody else is gone.
Everybody else is gone?
Yeah, they were actually going to try to cancel the meeting before you got back, but you.
You guys are trying to get out of here tonight.
Yeah, they
Not so fast. Okay. You have before you a copy of the Daytona Beachside Cleanup. It was a collaborative initiative from my office with the Beachside Action Committee that was established sometime, I think, in 2021, or maybe 2020. At any rate, the objective of that Beachside committee, or action committee, was to find some low-hanging fruit that we could take advantage of. And one of the things that came out of that was a progressive effort to clean up the beachside. Most of the following projects were planned and approved early 2021 with completion as soon as possible. We were challenged by COVID, staffing, supply chain shortages, natural disasters. Welcome to our Beachside Road beautification starting winter 2023. This outdoor welcome sign project was approved in early 2021 to encourage hope for beachside. It was installed at one of the beach gateways, International Speedway Boulevard for the FDOT. You guys remember that, right? Okay. Seabreeze Boulevard's metal sign frames were scheduled for removal in early 2021, but Seabreeze residents proposed refurbishing into seaside art and durable finishes, now installed with almost no maintenance through the last couple of years. So sometimes when you work with the community, you get something better than you thought. And you don't always have to tear down, take away. Sometimes you can reimagine and sort of reinvent. Improving trash pickups at businesses and adding more litter pickup staff, while code enforcement prioritized the back alleys of Seabreeze bars and commercial dumpster enclosures. You guys remember this. That looks horrible, doesn't it? We don't want to look like that. That's more. Seabreeze Boulevard's commercial alleys and side streets then showed improvements in safety and cleanliness. I'd say that's a remarkable difference. Mid-year 2021 traffic poles on Seabreeze Boulevard were submitted for new paint, and the flagpole at the post office was leaning heavily without a flag. Both projects were completed, and I remember walking Seabreeze and seeing it in this state. Starting mid-year 2021, a new pressure washing maintenance program included many sidewalk curbs and structures that improves pedestrian safety. Let me go back. All right. But we see the difference in that one. I didn't look at it myself, but that's remarkable. And that's the way we want to look. Curbs were repaired, and this is the way that we want our curbs looking all across the city. You see the clock tower, the difference in the clock tower. You pay attention a little bit to what we have, and this all came primarily through that Beachside Action Committee. And starting in early 2021, many more broken sidewalks were identified and replaced for safety without removing valuable shade trees. We see the difference. Continuing the safety improvement to sidewalks, drainable gray landscape covers were installed at Seabreeze, boulevards, palm trees. This option also reduces stormwater debris, and open sidewalk cutouts were filled and smoothed. Since early 2021, many old and damaged signs were replaced for safety. Mid-year 2021, Seabreeze's Collins Park received a generous racing and rec grant for new playground equipment, swings, landscaping, signs, sidewalks, picnic tables, and parking, all which brought the families back to the park. I'm often on Facebook and social media. I see a lot of folks, they talk about the parks in Daytona Beach and the ones on the mainland getting refurbished, and they often ask, well, what's happening at the beachside parks? I think we did a good job with Snebley. And I'm pleased, and there's no area in Daytona Beach that has not, over the last 8-10 years, started to get the attention that I think that it deserves. Barrier palms installed in the Seabreeze neighborhood's traffic diverters resulted in improved safety for vehicles, for pedestrian, bicyclists, and motor vehicles. Palm trees look great. And FDOT funding from year 2019 provided Seabreeze Boulevard with brighter intersection overhead lights that match Seabreeze light posts. Public Works and Seabreeze residents pushed the project through FDOT's long delays of engineering, COVID supply chain issues, and FPL crew redirects the storm disasters. FDOT's recent installations, Grandview, Wild Olive, Oleander, and Halifax Peninsula is in progress. While not specifically a Mayor's Beachside Action project, and that's true, many documented hazardous beachside roads and crosswalks were made safe by Mayor Henry's road priority and the new roads manager position, filled in mid-year 2021. They asked me to present this. I don't want to be thanked. I'm not going to show that page. Skip that, because it wasn't about me. It was about Beachside. It was about the residents on Beachside who stood up, decided that they wanted to participate, and it's also about our staff. I think high praise goes to Andy and his entire team for partnering with the residents to work day by day, street by street, block by block, to beautify the beachside. Now, as mayor, I'm ready for the next community. I'm ready to work with another neighborhood, and I'm ready to continue to work with the beachside, because beautification is something that we should take as a priority all across the city. Now, I know that many folks from the beachside community want to come, and I will allow you guys to come when we do public comment. Okay, so you'll be able to take your 3 minutes at that time. Now, my next presentation. Last week, I had a meeting with several of the owners of businesses on our beach Street area, in the Beach Street corridor. Those in attendance included folks like Jack White, Fred Cleveland, Tammy Kaczynski, and others. And one of the things, and I want to have a brief conversation. First thing I think we have to remember is this. We, as a city commission, we allocated $12 million to improve Beach Street itself. The first phase, I think, was almost $8 million. The second phase that we're getting ready to enter into is $4 million. But we didn't stop there. We allocated $30 million for Jackie Robinson Ballpark to be refurbished. We partnered with Hyatt and C.C. Brown and the folks at the Riverfront Esplanade, where he has spent over $35 million to revitalize that park. Brown and Brown brought in their headquarters, $35 million. So if you add all of that up, you're talking about over $100 and almost $10 million, $100 million easily that we've spent in that corridor. Why did we do that? I think we did it because we wanted to say that we want to have a world-class riverfront area, one that people from all across the world can travel to. And the reality is that now almost 1,000 people a day on the weekends are coming to visit the Riverfront Esplanade. Almost 1,000 people a day. That's the energy that we want to see in that park. But one of the issues that we want to address is that we want those people to go from across the street to the businesses that are on Beach Street. And so in this meeting was a meeting where they expressed some of their challenges and their frustrations and things that they would like to see us do to perhaps help them. And the number one thing that they talked about was an ambassador presence on Beach Street. And this presence is a presence where they would like to have a security guard or a security person of sorts to help serve, not necessarily as an ombudsman, but as a presence to help abate some of the issues that they are experiencing with some of our more challenged residents. And by more challenged, I mean those who may or may not be homeless, but those who are displaced, not enthused about taking advantage of the services at First Step Shelter. So they have asked for, and I guess I will start this conversation off. And I started out by saying that we spent all of that money, but they're asking us, the businesses, for a fraction of support. And ideally, I would like for us to get back to a project that we had years ago when we had a street policeman who walked that area, and that was their job. They spent, 6-8 hours a day down there supporting that area. Well, we understand that Chief doesn't have the personnel right now to do that. Commissioner May, I know that you serve on the downtown DDA. And my question for you is this something that you believe that we should try to find a way to support?
Absolutely. Because we are seeing more foot traffic of visitors, we are having more events down there as well. So just in general, promoting a week-long sense of, and everything is okay, please come down here more often. We're seeing people come down on the weekends when there are a lot of people around. I'd like to see them more during the week also, so I think having a presence, an ambassador program, would be absolutely fantastic. Multiple businesses have contacted me, especially after the hurricanes, but then following that as well, they were seeing more homeless foot traffic. And we had stopped that for a while, and then it started picking up again, and then it started picking up again. So this is starting to escalate a little bit more, and the merchants are absolutely correct in being concerned about it. And this extends also into the Palmetto area, because we have more shops off the main streets as well, and they would benefit from it also.
Mr. Mayor, I'm somewhat perplexed because this afternoon or this during lunch that I think the Downtown Redevelopment Board initiated that they were going to do this from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. And the only day I think they're not going to have security down there in Ambassadors is on Sundays.
Well, you're perplexed because they hadn't approved it when I got the memo.
But
I didn't get this memo.
Oh, yeah, well, they did this, but I know they've been talking about it for a while, and I think that during if Candace, was that approved, or you all brought that up, that from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m., Monday through Saturday, you all will be, if you want to
come on up and tell us about it.
Yeah, because I just heard it.
You just heard it.
But they met about it, and I knew that it got approved.
Ken Thomas, Redevelopment Director. Yes, today we had a meeting where we made a presentation before the Downtown Redevelopment Board. We also made a presentation in front of the Downtown Development DDA as well. But the Esplanade had an agreement with a company to provide, security services. And that company was no longer part of their security services, so they had to get a new security services. And of course, with conversation with the police department, we wanted to have the same continuity with security services that the Esplanade had, so we waited until they had an agreement with that company. And we've subsequently met with them, and we have a tentative agreement that we're going to provide this type of services from 6 a.m. in the morning to 10 p.m. at night, Monday through Saturday, or Saturday through, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday to Saturday.
And Mr. Thomas, if I'm correct, just from watching the video this afternoon, they will have access to the police officers through their radio system. If there is something that takes place, that they're able to contact our police department immediately. And also, you're going to provide this information to the business owners that they can have access to the security details that will be provided on Beach Street, that they'll be able to call a person if they're having issues where there is a homeless individual or someone sleeping. They could call the security guard, who will then dispatch to our police department and also have that. And I know that the chief is also working with Captain Cundy, so they can have their bike officers return to doing some patrols when necessary during high event times. And so I'm just trying to make sure this is something that I heard to help the mayor when he communicates back of what was approved by you all when he takes that back.
And what we're doing right now, we got this time frame that we're going to do what Mr. Fiedra said for the next couple of months. So it's like a trial. We're going to do it for the next couple of months, but we want something much bigger, and so it's going to cost more, and then it will come to you all for an approval because it'll be beyond the city manager's signature authority. So we heard the concerns of the business owners, and DDA, we've been talking about it for several months, but now we've gotten to the point where we have something concrete that we can do, we're going to implement, and we're going to run that for the next couple of months and come back to you thereafter when we do our RFP.
How quickly do you think this program can start on your side of the street?
I think, yeah, this month.
And there's also going to be an app for people to be able to utilize to provide us with information on if something is going on. The app will, and also be able to share the information back to the business owners.
Right, yeah, yeah.
All right, awesome.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
And there will be 2 officers each shift. So there'll be 2 shifts that go from 6 a.m. I'm just trying to remember from what I watched, 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. Every day except for Sunday.
And it'll be 2 of them?
Yes.
Not one. Wow, okay, even better. Okay, awesome. Now, code enforcement down on Beach Street, they talked about that. They'd like to see a little bit more presence and consistency in that area. And one of the issues that I will address with you being in private, and not that I'm trying to hide anything, but there is oftentimes a lack of, all the businesses on Beach Street don't have the same property line. Is that right? So to speak, in terms of their
It can be difficult to understand, especially on the side streets and the back of buildings where properties end.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, and because of that, is it possible for us to create a no soliciting zone in that area?
We have an injunction against us right now over the enforcement of our no soliciting ordinance on the public right-of-way. I mean, that's what the federal court has enjoined us from doing.
So, and that, I'm aware of that.
Yeah.
But so it doesn't work. My point is that when you have an area where the public right-of-way and the private right-of-way conflict, is it conceivable that that area may be given better consideration than something that's just a public right-of-way? Because they have, our right-of-way, it's hard to tell where our right-of-way and their right-of-way conflict.
What I can tell you, Mayor, is that we have a trespass program through the police department where business owners can request the police to trespass people that business owners don't want on their property. And it's not necessarily because they're soliciting, it's because business owners have the right to allow or not allow people to come on their property. And if they're told they're not allowed and told that they need to leave and don't, or then they come back, then they can be trespassed. So in the example that you're using, supposing a business at the corner, I'm just using this as a hypothetical, at Beach Street and Magnolia has 10 feet of property extending beyond their front plane of their business. If somebody's within that 10-foot area, that's private property, and the business owner has the ability to work with the police department and do a trespass. This is the same thing that we're doing on other private properties, including, as recently reported in the newspaper, the Bevel Road shops. And it's not a question of enforcing a soliciting, it's enforcing a business owner's choice not to have certain people on the property, which they have the right to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. All right. I believe that that concludes that portion. Now let's move on to the business of Mainland High School.
And I'm sorry, Mayor, if you want to meet later, we can absolutely do that. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, we will.
Mayor, I'm sorry to interrupt. I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
I know that they have a lot of concerns on beachside as well, the same concerns that they have on Beach Street. Is there any way we could extend what we're doing on Beach Street to, say, the boardwalk? Because a lot of the business owners on beachside have the same concerns.
I'll just say these funds are CRA, and they're looking at those areas as well. So not only are they looking at those areas on Beach Street, they're looking at the boardwalk, MMB areas for not only for security, but also an ambassador program with volunteers to help people on information. So all of those are part of the discussions that have been taking place. I'm sorry, Commissioner. But yeah, these are areas that they're looking at also, especially with the CRA funds. And I know that during the presentation, Ms. Fuquay was saying that we have to make sure that we just don't look at one area with the CRA funds, but all of the CRA area funds. So that beach, the pier, MMB area, MLK are all part of the discussion of how we rotate people and officers for security as well as police officers back into those areas. Like what the mayor was talking about, where there was an officer assigned on patrol on bicycles.
Okay. Did that answer your question, or were you also talking about, were you talking about the cleanup, or?
No, about security.
Security only, okay. All right, thank you.
Security only.
Okay.
I'm sorry. And the code enforcement.
And the code enforcement.
But I would be interested in the cleanup.
Mm-hmm.
I would be interested in that.
Okay. All right. Now, moving on to the issue at hand and the reason that we're having this meeting on a Tuesday night. Tomorrow, I know three of us will be in Lakeland, hoping that the Buccaneers will be able to win both games, and then they will play on Friday for the championship if both teams win, meaning the boys and girls basketball team. Both teams were in the finals last year, and the girls were able to win the championship. I want to thank Commissioner Strickland, who has agreed to sponsor one bus to the game, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm still in need of one or two buses, and wondering if I can get someone to sponsor those because I expect them to win. So if they don't win, then I may not need those two buses. But if they win, I want to already have it in tow.
What is the fee?
$13.50. $13.50, it pays for the bus and the students' tickets. Okay, there I got them. Perfect. Thank you all very much. Good luck, Buccaneers. And Mr. Manager, did you have anything?
Yeah, two things. I'm excited for Mainland High School Bucks, the girls and the boys to be playing, but I'm also excited for, I think it's been about 20 years in a row, for the Winter Haven High School, my alma mater, to be at the state championship, both girls and boys. So me and my wife will be wearing blue and gold starting tomorrow, because both schools are in blue and gold, and we'll be cheering on for both teams on tomorrow and also Friday. So it's a great day for our community, that we not only have student athletes that are doing well on the hard courts, but also doing well in the classroom. When you look at not only for basketball for Mainland High School, but also for football, where some of these students are going to school. So I actually commend the leadership at Mainland High School and the coaches for what they're doing. But I also wanted to share a video. The Accelerate Business Summit is very brief. We took an idea and we put that idea into reality, and had about 190 people to register, but about 150 people showed up. Mayor did a great opening presentation, and we haven't heard nothing but great reviews from this. The pitch competition will be coming up. Very appreciative of Ms. Fuquay, who led the charge for us, and Kim Flatterly and Jeff Brown assisted. So, Xavier, I see you.
Chris, why aren't you a millionaire?
How are you liking the summit so far?
I'm enjoying it tremendously.
It was super empowering.
I can say I've learned already from the sessions that I've went to.
Our rooms were packed.
Networking opportunities, marketing.
It was amazing. This is the first Accelerate Business Summit for the city of Daytona Beach. We are excited. We have a lot of attendees here, and everyone seems to be happy and ready to accelerate to the next level. We have an exhibit hall full of vendors. I believe we're at 15 now, 15 vendors. I'm excited just that everything is coming together, and we have more than enough resources to pour into people.
Here to do some networking, gain some knowledge on some business development, trying to accelerate my business.
Exchange numbers, exchange business cards.
The presenters have been awesome, very interesting. The questions are on point, and there's such a vast amount of information that's being let out today, from finances to marketing, and great audience participation as well, great breakout sessions.
I'd like to thank the City Manager, Derek Fiecher, for putting this on LinkedIn in order to facilitate me getting here.
I loved all of the breakout sessions. I learned some really great and important key points for my business.
I always want to learn something new.
The Taste of Daytona Beach. We have 9 to 10 local eateries here who donated food to make sure our menu is great. I love food, so I'm excited about the lunch. And we have 40 gifts to give away. So all these prizes, we have a lot to just pour. This is a day of just pouring into our attendees.
But it's interesting. You can always learn new things and new insights from different people, and I've met some amazing people that I intend to reconnect with.
A founding partner of the Maxwell Leadership Certified Team, the Executive Vice President of the Maxwell Entrepreneur Solutions, leading a global team of over 50,000 speakers, Mr. Chris Robinson.
Some other things, I had to let go of a Hummer. I had to let go of a BMW. I had to let those things go because those things were an anchor in my life. Some of you have some things that you're holding on to that's holding you back from becoming the entrepreneur you want to be. I sat down the driveway and I contemplated, do I want to move forward in life with my dream, or do I want to go back and build someone else's?
So I hope they walk away full. I hope they walk away excited to accelerate and take over the world.
These individuals, led by Phoebe, Kim, Jeff, have truly made an impact in Daytona Beach, Florida. Thank you, thank you. So I do want to say that it was really a great experience. The bank institutions that we had in attendance, representatives for the UCF Business Incubator Center, and it's just amazing the amount of citizens who have talked about how good this was for them, and that we have people now trying to figure out when can we do it again. It will be an annual event. The pitch competition is coming up. We're trying to get sponsors where we can give an individual who has a great idea for a business, office space at one of our co-working spaces, startup funding, access to loan officers, marketing representatives. And so we've come together with a group of individuals that gave of their time and their talents, and very appreciative that we did not have to go into our budgets because of many of the sponsorships that we had for this event. So thank you all. Thank you to the team that put it together.
That was amazing. It was amazing. Amazing. Awesome job to the whole team. I mean, our city should be proud of what you all did, and we are proud. All right. Okay, no further comments. You have anything, Mr. Attorney?
Go Bucks.
Oh, did we vote on, I forgot, was that on the agenda for the First Step Shelter? I forgot to discuss that. It was, I wanted to mention this because it was on it was 8J. It was Michael Plius, who is the city manager for DeLand, is going to join the First Step Shelter Board. That means that we now have New Smyrna and DeLand have both joined. So you got Holly Hill, Daytona Beach Shores, Port Orange, Ormond Beach, Daytona Beach. I don't think I missed anyone. Ponce Inlet. All are a part of the First Step Shelter and partnering with us to help address this issue that is growing more pronounced in our community. It's not going to just go away. It's going to get worse as we move forward, but we are working to address it. So at this time, we will now prepare to hear from the residents of the city of Daytona Beach.
Okay. Our first speaker is Sharon Branch, and on deck is Linda Bostwick.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I'm speaking on the matter of rezoning 600 North Clyde Morris Boulevard from residential professional to business professional for medical office use. My name is Sharon Branch. I'm employed with Psychiatric Services of Daytona, located currently at 1651 North Clyde Morris Boulevard. The owners are Dr. Gary and Rosalind Frick, who are also owners of Northeast Florida Psychiatric Association, located in Port Orange, and a satellite office in Lake Helen. Between the three offices, we service all the Volusia County area. Psychiatric Services of Daytona is an outpatient facility servicing approximately 6,500 plus patients that we treat for various mental health issues. We provide medication management for treatment of mental health in the areas of anxiety, anger management, ADHD, depression, mood disorders, personality disorders, PTSD, schizophrenia, bipolar, and substance abuse disorders. We service the Daytona Beach, Holly Hill, Ormond Beach, Palm Coast, and New Smyrna, and DeLand and Edgewater areas. With that said, you can ascertain the huge need for our service. Surveys taken across the United States have identified the following trends in mental health for 2024. The most striking takeaway for this year's survey is that 94% of respondents say offering mental health benefits is very important to professional and prospective employees. That's nearly triple the rate from last year, which was 36%. Predictions for workforce mental health in 2024 include the impact of stress and anxiety on our global workforce, how work environment may be affecting employees' mental health, how companies are supporting historically marginalized populations, the continued challenge of loneliness and isolation. We all know someone, whether a family member, a friend, a coworker, church member, neighbor, that is in need of good mental health providers. If you don't know anyone, believe me, it won't be long before you do. Someone in your personal space will seek or require our service in the times that we live in now. With mental health concerns continuing to skyrocket, we are hopeful that you realize the necessity of our services and rezone this property to service as a doctor's office.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Our
Appreciate that.
next speaker is Linda Bostwick, and on deck is Brad Gonzalez.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Linda Bostic. I am a community servant in Daytona Beach. I'm organizing an event on March 16 called the Bonner Cleanup Day. This event will be held at the Child's Academy, formerly the Cypress Street Elementary School. We are seeking volunteers to assist with this beautification project. Specifically, we are looking for tree trimming, cutting in the southeast corner parking lot. The Child's Academy is a 501c3 nonprofit organization that is located in the historic Bonner Elementary building on George Ingram Boulevard. If this request is coming with too short of a notice, the school is closed for spring break from March the 25th through the 29th, and I am available to open up the campus. I appreciate your consideration and assistance in making this event a success. Not only will it help the Child's Academy campus, but also the surrounding neighborhood, as we are taking care of a piece of historic in our local community.
Ms. Bostic, so the goal is to clean the Child's Academy facility, campus,
Yes.
trimming the trees, and you are looking for volunteers to do that.
Yes, sir.
And you all are 501c3.
Yes, sir.
And we who are here, we remember that Child's Academy was Bonner, and, well, I'm still not happy with the school board because they closed it. But they did make good because all of our schools are new now, except Longstreet. But it serves an important function
Yes, sir.
in the community.
Yes, sir.
Tell us a little bit about what Child's Academy does, because some people may not know.
Child's Academy, we service young teenage mothers who've gotten pregnant and they have children or have babies, and we help them to acquire their a real high school diploma, not a GED.
Mm-hmm.
We service them as far as helping them if anything that they need, like clothes. We help direct them in the ways of getting WIC, any outside services that they need, child care. Their children come to school with them. We furnish them a free breakfast, a free lunch. We take, they get free child care.
Mm-hmm.
And anything that a starting mother, teenage mother will need help with, we provide it for them.
And so, but they don't get the money to be able to take care of the campus in these sort of trees. Are they tall palm trees or the pine trees? Which trees what are you trying to prune? How much do you think it would cost if you don't get the volunteers? You don't know that, do you?
No, sir.
Because it may be hard to get the volunteers, is what I'm saying. We're not just talking about coming out and raking and,
yes, we are.
Mr. Bostic, do you talk to me? No?
What we're,
Okay.
Can I
ahead, tell
explain
me.
let me explain it. Okay. This is a vision.
Okay.
I looked around this campus. It's a beautiful campus, and it needs cleaning up as far as we got a lot of trees in the fence line and a lot of trees and on the property too. What I'm asking for is that if a bucket truck from the city can come and on the southeast parking lot to cut those limbs back so because we don't have a lot of parking, most of the teachers park over there and the students, but when it rains or we have a heavy winds, limbs break off. So I'm asking that they just trim them, cut them back on those oak trees. We can't cut them down because they're oak trees. I was told that we can't cut them down because they're oak trees, but if we can get someone in there to help us with a bucket truck and knows how to use the saws to cut them. And then, because...
And then I'll pay for it out of COVID money. Yeah. That's what I'm thinking. Okay. We're going to get it taken care of, and he'll get with you. The city manager will get with you, and we're going to use those APPA funds to support that. Oh, no.
I'm working so hard.
We know you're going to work hard. See, we know you're working hard. I already know it. We'll take care. We got you. And I'll use those APPA funds that get criticized to pay for it through a private company. Okay? And then the money circles into a private company and takes care of a nonprofit. Right? You take care of it. Okay. Thank you.
On the 16th, we're having a cleanup. Bonner. Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
Our next speaker is Brad Gonzalez, and on deck is Joyce Case.
But they don't do that. They do. Okay. This is what it is. Okay.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening to y'all too. I wanted to speak about, well, first I want to give props to Emily Nice, who helped out with this project, who's our community coordinator. Secondly, I wanted to thank you folks for the work that you do. And those of you that's come to our community have brought a diversity to our community, whether you know it or not.
Mm-hmm.
or whether you thought it or not. And of course, like any community, we've had our issues, we've had our problems, but when it comes time to get down, those of you that know our community, we get down. But with your assistance in visiting our community helps us to understand and see that we have support, that we have a backup. So that gives us the drive to improve our community even more.
Mm-hmm.
So we want to thank all you commissioners, and we want to especially thank you, Mr. Mayor, who has been very gracious to our community when you come see us. You come to our Christmas celebration and different activities. And that shows us that we have support.
100.
And so I want to thank you for that.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Our next speaker is Joyce Case, and on deck is Edlin Rodriguez.
Good evening. Watch my clock. Hi, my name is Joyce Case. I'm with the Health Planning Council. I also live in the beautiful, historic Seabreeze neighborhood. And I wrote just a little something here. I always do something when I talk to the commission about health, because I think health is an important piece of our life and how our community works. So, without any further ado. By definition, a healthy neighborhood is one which all residents have access to quality education, safe and healthy homes, adequate employment, transportation, physical activity, and nutrition, in addition to quality health care. One of the key components of a healthy neighborhood is a social indicator referred to as sense of place. So what the heck is sense of place? Sense of place is the relationship between residents, the personality, and the history of a particular setting. Neighborhoods with a strong sense of place allow a neighborhood to flourish by cultivating a feeling of belonging, connecting with people, a hope for well-being, and a genuine home-like feelings. 23 years ago, my husband and I moved from San Antonio, Texas, to the historic Seabreeze neighborhood. In 2001, the neighborhood had a large inventory of investment properties, an extremely low percentage of home ownership. We didn't care. Purchasing a very cool old house built in 1939, 2 blocks from the beach, sealed the deal for us. But soon it became apparent to us that we needed to fight for our sense of place. We didn't know it was called that back then, but we decided to fight. First, it was the traffic calmers. Then it was code enforcement. And then it was the bar closings. Not once, not twice, but 3 times. And slowly but surely, the tide began to turn. Today, a strong sense of place is alive and well in the historic Seabreeze neighborhood. It's by no means perfect, but the Seabreeze neighborhood has inspired neighbors to work together for the neighborhood's benefit and the ultimate goal of having a lasting impact. Most recent improvements are due to the work of our Neighborhood Watch, dedicated neighbors like Anita Galantine, Tracy Remark, Emily Nice, and many of my neighbors that are here tonight, Jim and Donna, Brad, Lauren, so many more. Another strong advocate in this battle for our ongoing sense of place is the mayor. Your support and commitment to our neighborhood has been unwavering, and I thank you for that.
Thank you. I always enjoy what you have to say. That's quite inspiring, actually. Sense of place.
Okay, our next speaker is Evelyn Rodriguez, and on deck is Sylvester Peterson.
Evelyn Rodriguez, Daytona Beach. So I want to make it clear, I am not representing Council on Aging. I just, as an attendee of the senior group that meets at the Dickerson Center, I encourage all of you to go
between 10 and 1 to see what they're doing. It's 4 hours, the seniors go. Yes, I used to go to one of the Oasis program, and there are people that go to the senior group here for the Council on Aging, because the Oasis is only 1 day a week, whereas Council on Aging is 4 days a week. And they do a lot of activities. They feed not only the body, because they do the Meals on Wheels, but they do all sorts of things with the seniors. They give them a sheet for word search, so they could work on that for the brain. They have puzzles. There's one attendee who purchases out of her own money. She buys these puzzles that are either 500 or 1,000 pieces. She puts it in one of the tables. The seniors could go and whenever they want and try their hand on matching them up, you know. And I wanted, on behalf of the attendees, I want a big thanks to Commissioner Paris, who last October donated a flat screen TV like that. And now they have, every day they do a half an hour of chair exercises with the television.
Great.
So you know, and but
That's great.
only one employee is there, and she can't do it all by themselves. So there's like 2 volunteers every day, 2 different volunteers every day. And again, I'm not representing Council on Aging, but they have a once a year fundraiser. It's called Dancing Through the Decades. I always go, it's really great. And it would be nice for the commission to support maybe the volunteers. It's $45 each, and there's a table of 10. If they could donate in the future some money for the volunteers to be able to go. All these volunteers, most of them are seniors themselves, and they don't get paid, but they come and participate, help the other seniors there, and that's what I wanted to say. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next speaker is Sylvester Peterson, and on deck is Marjorie Johnson.
Excuse me, I don't really need to speak, I just want to get that to Commissioner May, if I can, she goes my zone.
Okay. Okay, our next speaker is Marjorie Johnson, and on deck is James Ford.
Marjorie Johnson, 122 South Key Street. The first thing I'd like to address is the fact that you're changing our meeting. And I got a phone call that they were changing it because the mayor had to attend something at Maine. And I have a problem with that because we've never had a mayor or a city commission to change our meeting dates for someone to go to whatever is happening at Mainland. Your first responsibility is to the taxpaying residents of this community. Now, I would not even be aware of the meeting date change had it not been for Ken Strickland, Commissioner of Zone 2. He's on my Facebook where I have over 5,000 people and 300 followers. I would not even know I've been aware of a meeting date change because I read it. He had a big poster there, and I am against you changing our commissioner date to go to something. We never had this happen in the whole history of the city of Daytona, and I would not like to see it happen again. I'm also here tonight to address accessory police on Mary McLeod Bethune Boulevard. I went there, and this has been happening before. The drug task force has been sent there. I went over to Main Street. I don't see all these accessory policemen. They need to protect the entire city. We're in desperate need of a police review board. I have brought that to you before because there's a lot of injustice that's going on here. And there are other cities that do have a police review board. At a previous meeting, I was harassed about sitting in a seat. When I got here, there were signs on the seat. They did that again here recently. You don't need to put signs on the seats. So when people come in here, Hyatt Brown is the richest man in Daytona, and he has brought his people here. They get here early, they take the seats, and no one's putting signs on the seat and then telling me, a taxpayer of 55 years, that I am a homeowner and a registered voter, that I have to move back to the second row. For the first time that it happened, I was harassed by your police. When I got back to the second row, Yvette Presley is blocking me from coming in Then they went and told Ricari Young that I had sat in a little boy's lap. Tony Severance cleared it up. Him and the acting president of the college was back there, and he said that never happened. He called the chief and told him. So I said to Ricari, why don't you go watch the video and don't say what somebody told you. Do your job that you're getting paid to do. So stop putting signs on seat in public buildings. They don't do that at the county. They don't do it at any other city hall. This is a meeting. Run it properly. Thank you.
Okay, our next speaker is James Ford, and on deck is Emily Nice.
Good evening. My name is James Ford. My wife's name is Donna O'Connor. We're married, and we're from the Seabreeze area. And I just love that sign there with the heart. It shows love. And being in business or working for the city, you hear so much negativity, and I want to thank you with so much positivity, the change. And one of the reasons I moved over here from Winter Park, we still have property there, is because of Mayor Henry, his attitude, his thinking, how hard he works. I don't know how he does all of this, the work, because he also works in education, and we appreciate you more than you know. And I just want to spend a little time just saying a few things. And also, I want to thank the city manager, I'm sorry, I was thinking about your name, I drew a blank, how hard the city is changing, because I'm a blue-collar worker, my wife is educated. You know, it's kind of interesting that I'll tell you real quick, her first husband was a federal judge, and I'm a construction worker, and we did quite well in life because of people like Mayor Henry that helped me. It's a community that raises everybody, and I want to also thank all the commissioners. And you need to hear that because you hear so much negativity. And you know what I always say, kindness is free. And thank you, Mayor Henry, for working so hard and treating the Seabreeze people over there and coming to the meetings and spending that time and energy doing that. And again, I don't know how you do it with being in the education field and also being and you're getting to the young people and spending time. That's so important because what's happening to our young youth, you know, and you spending all of that time and giving that good energy. You're a great leader and we really appreciate you. I don't want to take too much time up, and I just want to tell you we really have love for you and your hard work in the community. Thank you for being here and working hard. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Our next speaker is Emily Nice. And on deck we have Lauren, and I can't, last name, what is it? Angelotti.
Hi, Emily Nice, 941 North Oleander. So most of you are probably tired of hearing that we in our neighborhood strive for safety and cleanliness. But in doing so, it absolutely makes for a better way of life for all of us. And I wish that for every neighborhood in Daytona. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, so much for not only attending our meetings and attending our functions, but you act. And that's very much appreciated and noticed. I'd also like to thank Daytona Beach Police Department and every officer for going the extra mile to ensure our safety. And absolutely, Public Works, I don't know how they do it. They're always so responsive, professional, caring. And a lot of people don't know, I had to learn that so many of the projects involved lengthy engineering. For instance, the Seabreeze Lighting Project, was thousands of pages of engineering studies, like who would know? Particularly, Mr. Mayor, I would like to thank you for not only the projects in the report, but your support for the earlier bar closings, restrictions on the hookah bars, our police station, and all the many ways that you show you care by your presence. One of Seabreeze's most important characteristics is not just the 598 historic homes that have been lovingly renovated oftentimes, but the history of residents who for decades quietly committed to working behind the scenes with a strong drive to improve beachside, both tangibly and intangibly. It's a tradition worth carrying forward, not only for our neighborhood, but throughout our city. We still need a lot of work, a lot of projects, and right now you can probably guess that my mission is better code enforcement, particularly for abandoned buildings, which have been shown to increase crime, increase fires, bring down neighborhood values, decrease the quality of life, and that's why there are Florida statutes that give remedies for abandoned buildings and the ability for code to go in quickly to fix life safety issues. I'm happy to say I just met with code, and for our second abandoned building, they will be going in this time to correct a life safety issue instead of waiting 8.
Thank you, Nick.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to address that just a moment. That neighborhood group has done really good work to improve that neighborhood by leaps and bounds. And I would also like to reiterate to Ms. Nice, who's the chairman of that neighborhood group, that I would still be willing to meet with her and to get more involved with what's going on there. I've reached out to her before by email and in person and have not had a response. So that invitation is extended again.
Our next speaker.
Want me to say my own name? Yes. It's Lauren Angelotti, and I'm at 210 University on Beachside. And I also am a neighbor with Emily and the rest of everybody here. I've had my home about 28 years. So myself, I've been through quite an adventure with University, and I truly want to say thank you so much for what you've done the last 4 years. We've gotten a new street. That Collins Park is absolutely amazing. People come from all over, like you said, and I go there just for a walk to watch the sunset or the sunrise, and kind of to be a neighborhood to keep an eye on it, make sure that we're using it correctly. And I myself am not afraid to say hello to a vagrant that's, using it incorrectly. And I just tell them, I'm really sorry. You can sit on our gazebo, enjoy the beautiful sunset. You just may not take everything out of your basket and put it here, because there won't be enough room for all the other neighbors. And when I say that to them, they actually pick their stuff up and begin to respect our neighborhood. And I also tell them that we as a community want them to come here. We aren't saying you can't come here. We're just saying you need to use it the same way we do, with a lot of love, And so as a community, I appreciate that Ken is saying that he will answer us a little more, because we've worked overtime. I know you know, Mayor, because we have been here, and it's not my favorite thing to do after work is to come and speak. But we do have a lot of abandoned buildings, and we have a lot of situations that we report to code compliance, and we explain to them everything that's happening in it. And I understand it's a lot of work for them, but it's also a lot for residents to keep filling out paperwork and sending it in and doing a job where nobody's hearing us. And so it's nice that we have people like the Public Works. When I had a tree that was on Oak Ridge that a lot of neighbors complained about, I sent the picture into Public Works. They emailed me back the same day, and that branch was taken down immediately. So there's a lot of people within our city that I don't think we give enough credit to doing amazing work here and working with the neighborhoods and with the city. And I work myself in Daytona Beach over on International Speedway. And a lot of the business owners, as you're speaking about, we have a lot of nuisance there. A lot goes on that you probably don't even know about that's happening with owners of businesses that are vacating the parking lot where Dick's Sporting Goods is. That parking lot does not have any people that want to run a business within it due to the fact of how Daytona is letting vagrants come around that area. And it's a daily action to get them to move and to do what they need to do. So there's a lot of communities, I think, that don't speak out and that have a lot to say, that we could work together with what you're trying to do on Beach Street. Those people that are having the time to speak to you, it's throughout our area of Daytona. And I just think we should be more open-minded to everybody along with what's happening in our area. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Tanya Ray, and on deck is Marvin Kivett.
Hello, everybody. I'm Tanya Ray, and I live at 708 North Peninsula Drive here in Daytona Beach. And I actually came here for some gratefulness. I wanted to tell everyone how grateful we were as a group. I see that we have many, many people here from our area, which is exciting tonight, so many people engaged. And I wanted to talk about Mayor Henry's support, interest, and basically the involvement and the changes in the area. I believe Emily covered most of that, and so did the others. So I'm kind of cut to the chase. We're tickled about our new police substation. I think it's made a huge impact in the area. We're excited about the cleanliness. Things have changed slowly, but building steam, would love to see that continue. Would love to see some things in Collins Park. I believe that was brought up also. I don't know where we are on the cameras at Collins Park. I believe we had kind of brushed over that with Ken before. Ken, do you know where that's at? What we're going to do with that? I'm sorry, okay. But basically, if we could talk about, if he wants to, okay. If you want to weigh in on that. That would be a great improvement. We love seeing, like I said, the engagement with all the people in the neighborhood. Everyone's starting to go there. Everyone's starting to enjoy it. I'm seeing families move into the neighborhood. I've not seen small children for the last 8 years in our neighborhood, and now we have children moving in. Also, I wanted to briefly discuss the frame up the work that everyone's doing on the sober living properties. I know that you all are hard at work and that you've actually hired other lawyers and things like that, but I wanted to tell you that we have not forgotten, that actually half the people who wrote the petition are in here and have supported, and we appreciate any insight upcoming that you can give us on where that stands, and that we'd like to continue the momentum of bringing Seabreeze back to what it used to be in the 70s and the 60s when I was a child. I see that happening. I see people taking more interest in their properties, and it's just so much nicer. I don't feel like I can express how grateful I am to everyone here on the board that has contributed to that. So just wanted to thank you all. Thank you, Mayor Henry, for your interest, your concern. Thank you.
I think we've talked about this before, that there were a whole lot of moving parts with getting IT, Public Works, FPL, some of the businesses, and purchasing together to get this project to come together, and it is still moving along through that process. If I could wave a wand and make it happen, it would have happened months ago, but that's not possible. Government moves slow, and I didn't know how slow till I got elected, but it's slow.
The lights would not have happened, and you used some of those funds that have been talked about earlier to direct towards that. Yes, sir.
Good evening, Mayor. My name is Marvin Ridgewood Algerondo. I was born in USA in the Commonwealth of Puerto Rico. I've been in the mainland for 16 years, and I held several jobs. The main reason I'm here, because I just came here for Bikers Week to have a good time. And all I have had is insults, not verbally, but, you know, if anybody in this room is an attorney and know what modus operandi mens rea means, most of the people that work around here, the modus operandi is mens rea. I went to the post office today just to buy a simple mail envelope. And when I talked to the clerk said, what did he say? Let me see. She said, "What do you need?" And I said, ma'am, how about we practice that again? You say, how can I help you, sir? So me, the homeless criminal justice student that has free tuition because the state of Florida has a law that says that students can study for free, I'm doing that. And I get slashed left and right everywhere I go because of my appearance, which is a discrimination based on social status. I went to the First Step shelter, which is not managed properly, Major. I went there and I was talking to Officer Cox, and I went there because, you know, I want to get my life better, because right now I don't have where to live, because my wife, when I called my wife and I told her that I was in criminal justice, she told me that we were divorced. So I found out on the 14th of February that I was divorced. And well, you know, as a man, you know, if you smack a rock and the rock stopped being a rock, it was never a rock. So I continue my life and move on, Major Henry. I have a letter of recommendation from Major Keith Simon for United States Marine Corps. And as a result of having that letter, I let it go. I let it go because I did not know how to approach the situation, of security guards that have a Class C license and don't act professional, how they don't ask questions and they assume. So when I went to the First Step shelter, I told the Officer Cox that I want to have the bunk upside down because I put it the other way. I can feel when I'm sleeping because I move around. So she said that that was not policy. She got to the homeless people over there, she gave a cup half full, just to be positive. And so when I called her out and I told her all the things that I can know how to say politely,
Okay.
she kicked me out.
Time's
So
up.
I would appreciate Mayor Derrick L. Henry, if you can please step up for this situation and make this place a better place, this shelter, because they receive federal funding.
Okay.
And I'm being misused.
Thank you, sir.
I am sorry. Thank you for this time. I appreciate it. That's all I wanted to say.
Thank you.
Our next speaker is Sandy Murphy, and on deck is Ann Ruby.
Good evening, Sandy Murphy, 136 Park Avenue. I wanted to confirm what the folks from the Seabreeze neighborhood are saying. I drive across Seabreeze every weekday morning, and the aesthetic improvements there are noticeable to even the most casual glance. In addition, very frequently I see public works employees out there cleaning up that street on a regular basis. So I think that's one terrific thing that's come out of the Mayor's Beachside Action Committee. And we started looking in that committee at, you know, what are the low-hanging fruits? What can we attack and make some visible change right away? I'd just like to say in a manner of encouragement rather than criticism, I would like to see the same activity happen on Main Street. Every time I go to Sanford, Lakeland, DeLand, and I see those beautiful Edison lights hanging across the street, I say to myself, why don't we have that? Why can't we have that on Main Street? And, you know, we've talked about it. There has to be a way to do it. I sure would love to see that happen. There are other things that the mayor's group brought up, like having functioning kiosks on Main Street to let people know what's going on. And I understand that's in progress, and like Ken said, everything takes a while, but I hope that we can see those soon. And I think that we know, too, that MMB has a lot of the same requirements as Main Street. We could probably go forward as a pair in all the things that need to be done there. The final thing that I would mention as a low-hanging fruit that's a big job for Mayor Henry is that when after Bike Week is over and you take a walk down Main Street, you cringe at what is in some of those windows. And we know that there's a First Amendment right to free speech, but I think that if the mayor and the commissioners can use their bully pulpit, so to speak, to talk when they're down there, talk to the shop owners, ask them if that kind of thing can be set aside for the family-oriented weeks that we have, and try to make those areas more friendly to our family visitors, our young people. I think that that would go a long ways to making those streets feel more welcoming. Thank you.
Thank you for saying that. I appreciate you saying that, especially that last part.
Our next speaker is Ann Ruby.
Ann Ruby, 137 Park Avenue. So I believe the Mayor's Beachside Action Committee kind of came out of your attendance at a B&W meeting in January of 2021. I was on that committee. I was one of the facilitated the meetings. I would like to encourage you to attend one of Steve Miller's Midtown neighborhood meetings, second Monday, and maybe that would be a good catalyst for starting a Mayor's Midtown Action Committee, because I think that would be a good thing to do. I want to thank Commissioner Strickland for his support of the initiatives that were needed on Seabreeze, his donations for the lights, Collins Park, his votes on the bar closing, the behind the scenes work that he did on the sober living. He's been as proactive as he can be. I do want to encourage the leadership of the Seabreeze Neighborhood Group to be more proactive in working with him, because in all honesty, they've thanked you a lot, Mayor, and that's great, but you do have more than 594 homes to represent, and you can't spend all your time in Seabreeze. That's what a commissioner is for. So I would encourage the leadership of that group to start working more closely and collaboratively with Commissioner Strickland. And I'd like to reiterate what Sandy said. It would be great to have the same report on Main Street, because the Mayor's Action Committee did come up with the lights across, the murals project. We've been asking way before the committee existed, please do something with those kiosks and the banner replacements. So, the Surfside Village used to have beautiful banners that identified Surfside Village. It's a wonderful little neighborhood, and homeowners are working really hard to make sure it looks beautiful. It would be good to see the city support that. So, Commissioner Strickland, I'm grateful that you're now the representative for that neighborhood, because I know that you will work to get some of those things done, and I appreciate that. So, thank you.
Thank you.
That was our final speaker for this evening.
Jesus. Insanity. Daytona Beach, thank you for a great meeting. Good night, and as always, go Bucks!